On WhatsApp, your personal messages stay private, between you and whoever you send them to. So things like the passport numbers for your honeymoon stay between you and your fiancé. And that video call for your grand's 80th stays in the family. Even your streaming password stays between you and your college roommates, who still ask for it every week in your group chat. Because on WhatsApp, your personal messages are yours. No one else can see or hear them, not even us. WhatsApp, message privately.
Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast.
Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Abby Hanson. Dr. Abby Hanson is a chiropractor at the Chiropractic Element in Lawrence, Kansas. She grew up in Lawrence, graduated from Free State High School, then graduated from Washburn University with a bachelor's degree in biology with a minor in chemistry. She entered the workforce as a certified nurse assistant working in an area hospital and became frustrated with the current climate of the healthcare system. After about 2 years of working in a hospital setting, she went to work for a chiropractor and ended up in chiropractic school at Cleveland University in Kansas City. In 2018, she graduated as Doctor of Chiropractic and opened her own practice in Lawrence, Kansas. Through her practice, she works to educate her patients on how chiropractic can remove nerve interference, allowing the body to express health without the interference of drugs. When she is not in the office adjusting patients, she keeps busy with her three littles, Elsie, Sebastian, and Lily. She also enjoys her yoga practice, weightlifting, riding bikes with the kids, and being a plant lady. Well, good afternoon, Abby. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good to have you on here, Abby. Like I said, I typically traverse the globe, 40 countries and counting. Like I said, all over, and I love to do these podcasts, get to meet people all the time. What's great is you actually live local here near Kansas City in the city of Lawrence. So we're practically neighbors, and I actually happen to be one of your awesome patients. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. This is awesome. So Abby, we're just going to jump right into the questions here. You've got quite a career in healthcare. You're a doctor of chiropractic. You're an entrepreneur and now the founder and CEO of the Chiropractic Element. Could you share with our audience the secret to your career growth and what inspires you?
So my growth definitely stemmed from just having such a great support system. So my family, obviously, they're my biggest supporters. They're my biggest fans. You've probably run into my parents in my office at a time or two. And then, just growing my network, growing up in Lawrence, I had started to build a network of people who helped me succeed with like getting my first bank loan and accounting people who would, run my books. And then I had mentors who had other successful businesses as not only healthcare providers, but also business owners, other chiropractors here in town who have helped me grow my practice and inspire me. And then as far as inspiration goes, my kids are definitely my biggest inspiration. They drive me to be a better mom, a better chiropractor, and then also my patients, so I have patients who typically walk through my door because they are having a problem or, some type of pain is preventing them from living their life. And so being able to go with them through their journey of healing and the process that takes and their growth personally and physically, it's really cool to watch all of that happen.
That's awesome. And I appreciate you sharing that, especially about your family and that close circle of supporters that you have here. And I can tell you, I can vouch that you've got an amazing office staff and family. It's just awesome there. So there's nothing but more success for you. I can definitely tell that. So
thank you.
You're absolutely welcome. So Abby, talk to us about the importance of the health of your spine and how it affects our physical and mental well-being.
Yeah. So many people think that you go to the chiropractor because you have back pain. And I will be honest, 99% of my patients who come in are there because of back pain, headaches, pain between the shoulder blades. Some sort of symptom is driving them to come into my office. But symptoms are only 10% of your problem. 90% of your problem is actually irritation to your nervous system, which includes your brain and your spinal cord. And because of that irritation, different changes happen in our body. So anytime our brain is getting bad information, we start to change our posture and our muscular imbalance. And then we start to release inflammation into our body. And on top of that, we release stress hormones. And so all of these things start to build up in our body before we even have any idea that we are going to have a problem like low back pain or headaches or pain between the shoulder blades. So movement of the spine is where we kind of combat that irritation to the nervous system. So we have something called the subluxation. Do you remember that word from like your very first adjustment?
Yep.
Okay, good. So the subluxation is the restriction or the improper movement of a spinal segment in your spine. And anytime we have a subluxation in our spine, that sends bad information to our brain. And when our brain gets that bad information, our brain goes into what we call fight or flight mode or the sympathetic mode. And so when we have that fight or flight mode take over, that's when we have chronic things start to happen. So initially, if we are, running from a bear, we want this fight or flight mode to take over, and we want to shunt blood away from our digestive system, and we want it to go to our extremities so that we can run away. And we want our stress hormone to increase, and we want our inflammatory cytokines to take over so that we can really get away from that bear. But when we are running from a bear chronically because we're stressed at work or we're stressed because of family and we're not getting enough sleep and we're eating processed foods and we're not exercising or getting sunlight, then bad things start to happen to our body, and our brain just consistently gets that what we call bad information or the irritation to our nervous system. And so that's where the spinal adjustment comes into play. And with the spinal adjustment, we are removing that subluxation in the spine by inducing proper motion into the spinal segment, which can improve posture. We can then decrease stress hormones, and then we can decrease the inflammation that's going on throughout the body. So chiropractic is pretty cool, and it's for a lot more than just back pain and headaches.
Thank you. And you've certainly showed me that chiropractic care is absolutely more than just back pain. Obviously,
well, good.
I've been a skeptic for many years, right? Because I just didn't know. And I've talked to people that had, some bad experiences. So, but it's good to know. And it's certainly improved my mental and physical well-being. So thank you.
Wonderful.
Abby, we're a technology publication platform. We focus on emerging technologies, right? But are you leveraging any new or emerging technologies within your business there? And if not, maybe you found a cool tool or app you might share with us.
Yeah, so we have a digital x-ray machine, which I think is pretty cool. I don't know if in the technology world, if that's like old news, but it's pretty cool for a chiropractor. We are able to take an x-ray and then have it just pop up on a computer. And then we also have a 3D laser foot scanner that allows us to see the arches in people's feet. And from that 3D laser scan, we can create custom orthotics for our patients, which is pretty cool. And then the app that we use to just like with screening patients, it's called a posture app. And it just allows us to take a quick picture of the patient's posture. And then we mark several anatomical points on the body, and we're able to see if you have like forward head posture, which is the most common posture abnormality that we see just from, looking at our phones and sitting in computers and technology. So those are probably the three things that we use for technology.
That's awesome. And that is great. I happen to just have a background in healthcare technology, of course, but healthcare and, a lot of really cool things over the years as far as digital x-rays and some of the 3D scanners. That's totally awesome. So thank you for sharing that. Abby, last question here. Could you share something from your career experience that might be helpful for those looking to grow their career in either healthcare or entrepreneurship?
Building a portfolio with Fidelity Basket Portfolios is kind of like making a sandwich. It's as simple as picking your stocks and ETFs, sort of like your meats and other toppings, and managing it as one big, juicy investment. Now that's pretty good. Learn more at fidelity.com/baskets. Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
I think, again, just finding something that you're passionate about and that every day you get to go to work and live your passion. I mean, I'm not going to say that every day is sunshine and rainbows here in my office. Like, we have our hard days, but in general, even if I'm having a hard day, I can have a patient that comes in and is like, I was able to pick up my grandson today and I haven't done that in years, and it's moments like that where it's like, okay, take a step back. This is a humbling moment. This is why I do what I do, because I impact people's lives through chiropractic. A lot of people try and give me the credit as the chiropractor. And, they say, you changed my life. Well, it wasn't me. I just adjusted you and your body was able to heal itself because it was put in an environment where it could do so. So I'm just the facilitator, but it's the passion that is able to, drive me and keep me motivated.
Thank you for sharing that. And that is so important. We're always trying to either solve a problem or we're inspired to help others. And that's truly comes out in speaking with you this evening. So I certainly appreciate that. And Abby, it was a pleasure having you on today. And I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Bye for now.